Tete is a ghost who appears in a number of urban legends. She has no lower half, she runs about on her arms, creating the distinctive teke sound from which she gets her name. Teke chases her victims down dark roads. Despite having no legs, Teke can run incredibly fast. So fast, in fact, that she can even catch up to victims who are speeding away in cars. When she catches them, something terrible happens. The legends are not always clear what. In some variations of the story, Teke carries a sickle. She slices her victims in half at the waist and steals their legs. Like with most urban legends, there are so many versions of the Teke story that it is impossible to know what the original story was or where it began. Every locality has its own version with different details. In some stories, the Teke was the victim of a tragic accident. In others, it was suicide. In some stories, certain magic charms can protect you from her wrath. In others, nothing can protect you and you will certainly die. In some versions, Teke's victims become Teke themselves. There are a number of threads in common between many of the variations, and the most common ones point toward a woman from Hokkaido named Kashima Reiko. In the years after World War II, an office worker in Muroran, Hokkaido, was assaulted and raped by American military personnel. That night, she leapt off a bridge onto the railroad tracks and was hit by an oncoming train. The impact was so forceful that her body was torn in half at the waist. The severe cold of the Hokkaido night caused her blood vessels to contract and prevented her from bleeding out quickly. Instead, she squirmed and wriggled about for help for several minutes. She crawled all the way to a train station and was seen by an attendant. Instead of trying to help her, the station attendant just covered her with a plastic tarp. She died a slow and agonizing death. According to legend, 3 days after hearing this story, you will see the ghost of a woman with no lower half. The ghost is that of the woman hit by the train. The ghost will try to catch you, and escape is impossible even in a car. The ghost can crawl at speeds of up to 150 kilometers per hour. Some say that the ghost is searching for her legs, which were lost when she was cut in half. Others say that she is angry at humanity for not helping her when she was dying, and that she is simply out to slaughter as many people as she can. When she catches you, she will tear you in half and steal the lower half of your body. Shortly after hearing the legend, she will ask you a riddle, either in a dream or in a mysterious phone call. The only way to escape death is to answer her questions exactly the right way. She will ask you, "Do you need your legs?" You must reply, "I need them right now." Then she will ask you, "Who told you my story?" You must reply, "Kashima Reiko." Ka as in mask, Shi as in death, Ma as in demon, Rei as in ghost, and Ko as in accident. Hachishaku-sama, also informally called Hashaku-sama, is a type of yokai that takes the form of an impossibly tall female specter. She is often said to have a deep, masculine, or an attractive feminine voice in which repeats the interjection po repeatedly, and a habit of preying on children, usually ones who are 9 to 11 years old. Hachishaku-sama often appears as an 8 feet tall woman with black hair. She wears a white hat and a white dress, sometimes with shoes such as sandals, white or black high heels, or sometimes she goes around barefoot. Most people depict her as a beautiful and attractive woman, most likely to increase her manipulative nature and charisma. Some depictions usually describe her as a beautiful woman, although some have her face with extremely soulless eyes and a twisted, creepy smile. The spirit could possibly have shape-shifting abilities to disguise herself in public or even trick her victims into thinking she's a normal woman. Hachishaku-sama can vary from a withered hag akin to a beldam, or an attractive woman as most depict her as, yet is almost odd in terms of height. While her appearance varies between accounts, most eyewitnesses have stated that she dressed in a white summer dress and a wide-brimmed hat. Hachishaku-sama attacks children instead of adults. This is due to the fact that children are easy to take advantage of and are still dependent on older family members, which Hachishaku-sama can mimic in order to lure her victims away. Akanto is an urban legend related to toilets, particularly those in elementary schools. This phenomenon is known all over Japan, with countless variations on the same theme. It usually takes place in a specific stall in a specific bathroom in the school. Usually it is an older or seldom used bathroom, often in a stall with an older style squat toilet. Often the fourth stall is the cursed one, as the number 4 is associated with death. Most stories follow this general pattern. While at school late in the evening, a student suddenly finds him or herself in desperate need of a toilet. The closest restroom available is the one that is normally avoided by the students. It is older and less well kept, separated from the rest of the school, and is rumored to be haunted. But with no time to search for a different restroom, the student enters. He or she does their business, and when they have finished, they reach for the toilet paper only to find that there is none. Then they hear a strange voice. Do you want red paper or blue paper? The student answers red paper, and a moment later is stabbed and sliced up so violently that blood sprays everywhere, soaking their body and making it look like as if they were wearing a bright red cloak. Sometime later, another student finds him or herself in need of a toilet in a similar situation. They know the rumors that a student died in the restroom, but they have no choice and use the bathroom anyway. Sure enough, a voice asks them, red paper or blue paper? Remembering the legend, this student says blue paper. Then all of the students' blood is sucked out of their body, leaving them dead and blue-faced on the floor. In some cases, instead of draining your blood, blue paper gets you strangled until your face turns blue. Sometimes answering red paper gets your skin flayed so that it hangs off your back like a red cape. A play on the Akanto name. In other versions, instead of being killed, the student's skin color will change permanently to whatever color he or she chose. Sometimes, those who survive and tell the story to others fall terribly ill and die shortly after. And sometimes the consequences are worse than death, such as being dragged into hell, never to be seen again. As with many urban legends, there is usually no escape from your horrible fate. Though that doesn't stop people from trying. Clever students who bring extra toilet paper with them discover that it vanishes before they are able to use it, and still find themselves having to answer to Akanto. People who choose a different color other than the ones offered in hopes to confuse the spirit are met with an equally horrible death. One common version has a student say yellow paper, and the result is that their face is pushed down into the dirty toilet water and held there until they drown. In some instances, students have been able to escape by saying, I don't need any paper, buying them just enough time to run out of the bathroom before anything happens. Tracing the origin of urban legends can be difficult. Akanto is fairly old as far as urban legends go. It's recorded as a popular schoolyard rumor as early as the 1930s. And its popularity hasn't faded even as newer toilet legends, such as Toire no Hanako-san, have come into existence. One explanation for Akanto's origin and continued popularity is in its nature. It may be a reflection of the anxiety inherent in being a student. Akanto asks children an impossible question to which any answer results in something terrible. That feeling is not too different from having to answer a difficult question on a test, or a teacher's question in front of the whole classroom when you don't know the answer.